We start with with ordinances. And again, those are read for 2 weeks in a row, and then they become law. Then resolutions are read next, and they're usually things as simple as someone wants to temporarily close a lane on a road because they're doing some construction on their restaurant, and they need a week to be in the lane, and they ask us if they can close the lane for a week. It's something usually not controversial and pretty simple. Now, I'll hush and let you ask questions. Yes, sir.
I've got a bunch of questions.
And if they're hard, I'm going to refer them to Manny.
No, we can manage it. Go ahead, yeah. We like to hang in. But anyway, I just want to start with like a simple one. How are council members sworn in, and what are the basic duties of city council people?
After the elections, usually 2 weeks, I think, after the election, we're sworn in all at the same time. Our terms run congruently. We don't have staggered terms. And it runs the same term as the mayor and the same term as our city clerk, who's in the Justice Building, that's over collecting for your tickets and court costs. Our judges are elected every 8 years. So this coming election, I think we have judges will be included in this election. But we are sworn in, and there's an oath that we take that was written by the state. And our general duties consist of responding to our constituents to help resolve concerns that they have, attending committee meetings. You're usually chair a committee meeting, and then the way we run the council now, instead of having just 2 or 3 council members on a committee, we're all on the committee. And you're expected to attend the committee meetings so that you're kept fresh and up on the discussion with that item. And then you're required to be here in the council. I don't think you can miss more than 3 consecutive meetings on the council when we meet at 6 o'clock, unless there is some issue like you have a serious health issue that requires that you be out for a few weeks. And at that point, you address it with the council and make them aware of why you cannot attend. There's some ethic responsibilities as far as we're not to receive gifts or meals of a value more than $25. I don't let anybody buy my lunch. I just don't take anything from anyone. There's conflict of interest statements. We're not supposed to vote on anything that might have an effect on us or any family member. If I had a spouse that worked for an agency that we give money to, I would have to abstain from a vote when it came time to vote on money allocated to that agency. An example of that might be CARTA. If my husband drove the bus for CARTA, then I really should abstain from voting on the money that we would give CARTA, particularly if it included employee raises. Because that could be seen as a conflict of interest, because someone in my family can benefit from my vote. I'm no longer in business, but I had a janitorial company, and just because I've been in business 15 years, the chances of somebody coming before the council that was my customer was likely. We have an engineering firm locally that was one of my customers. So if they were ever going to be awarded a contract, I abstained from voting on their contract. Now, it wouldn't personally have benefited me unless they were going to give me money for it, but I didn't want anyone to ever connect. She voted for this, and she's got their cleaning contract. I didn't want anyone to ever say that, so if their name came up, I abstained. And now that I don't own that business, it's been a lot easier not having to think about, well, is there any connection that I have to this particular group of people or an organization? So there's ethic responsibilities that we have to be responsible for. anytime you're elected official, you have to make financial disclosures to the state on a regular basis, and that's done through the election commission that notifies us that we have a disclosure due. Every year, we must sign an ethical statement and give to the state, and it's due usually through the month of January. You have a whole month to sign and get your statement in at the state level. That's been fairly new. I don't think that's been around but for maybe 6 or 7 years. Let's see, other things that are our duties. Those are the things I can think of off the top of my head. It's our responsibility to read and know the issues. And there's a lot of time you'll spend on reading. Some council people, you can tell, spend a lot of time on reading. Others, you can tell, didn't read a thing by the questions they ask. I know during committee meetings who read what's up in front of us and who didn't by the questions they ask.